Yo, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Oh, I got so fired up there just jamming along to that intro. Forgot to do everything else. Let's go. Happy Tuesday, August 20th. To everybody out there rocking and rolling, man, I told you the deal last week. We got lots of things to cover. We don't have a lot of time to do it. I said, don't be late. You know, Tuesdays are becoming great. You don't want to miss out on the action that we have in store for tonight. The best UFC crew to do it's assembling again at your guys' request. Tuesdays. Lots of fun. We crushed it last week. We want to do it again. We're looking to do it again. I know I've been talking with the fellas all day. All day we're talking about this 5-fight card for Dana White's Contender Series. But before we do that, we got to get to our baseball action. A little different this time. A little different. Last time we had a bunch of early starts and we dropped some later action. I liked some spots that I really wanted to handle and hammer out early. So, in fact, there's an ad that I realized I didn't put on the cart. So I want to give you guys these plays today, right now, with Pregaming here at Sports Money. Then we're going to go in and we'll talk more. Lots more plays, especially in the baseball card today. But forewarning, this card looked like a ton of unders. You know the deal. I don't just say that to say it. Saying it just to say it? No, man, we're out here playing it. That's what happens. And it looks like pitching matchups, lots of lefties. We got lots of wind blowing in, and we got a lot of low totals. In fact, I was looking at the card. There's not one number above an 8.5. We know that 9 is the key number in Major League Baseball. So we got to be mindful. Tough day for hitting props, but we got ourselves a nice little 5-leg parlay. I think it's like 15 to 1. So, you know, just missed again yesterday. Cashed a bunch of legs, just couldn't get them all together. So certainly recommend playing these individually. That's been kind of the best way for me to get it out there, is to put it on the screen. Those are the plays. He's kind of talking about each of them individually, kind of just knock them out and get that player prop corner kind of out of the way. But tonight we got action really spread out across the board. I wanted to take the Diamondbacks and the over. I had to scrap it. Feels like the Marlins in the under. I don't know. I just couldn't get there. But we do have action galore. We're going to go Colorado Rockies, Washington Nationals, and that shit show slugfest. We got the Tigers and the Cubs. There's another shit show slugfest. I'll tell you what. Those Central Division teams, man. If they just stop playing Major League Baseball, I guess I really wouldn't care. I don't need to see any more St. Louis Cardinals. I don't need to see any more Cincinnati Reds. I don't need to, although the Reds did cash our over yesterday. The Tigers and the Cubs. I don't need to see any of these teams anymore. But I think we have a really terrific spot for this Detroit Tigers-Cubs game. Then we got the Boston-Houston game. Damn, yesterday I thought Boston had it, man. They just couldn't get there. AL East teams. We're going to go back in on this Boston-Houston matchup. We're going to talk Angels and Kansas City matchup. We got ourselves a little interesting battle there. Tyler Anderson and Cole Ragans. We're going to get into the Mariners and the Dodgers. And I got a WNBA play. Starts at 7 p.m. So we got to get to work. Appreciate everybody coming in here, hanging out. You guys, by the way, thank you for yesterday. Very much, we got a lot of work to do, but I do want to shout you guys out. Really do appreciate it. It's worth taking the time to recognize you guys for getting that thumbs up button, man. Great work on the show. Almost our highest thumbs up with the show, I guess, career to date. So that means a lot, you guys. I really do appreciate that. Unfortunately, I get off the show and I look for the tennis play and they canceled the match. McDonald retired. Didn't play. Didn't want to play. Kind of reminds me of that Olympic boxing. Girl gets hit in the face. She don't want to get hit again. Just done. Just leave us alone. But let's go. Let's get to this action here. We've got now we'll say 35 minutes. I'm going to start putting a little timer on this thing too, so that we can see this little live countdown. I see it counting up, but this ain't Olympic hockey. We want to count down like it's the NHL, not count up. Shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. Again, hit that thumbs up button. Show the support. We grounded out yesterday. Marginal day, right? It was just not the banger. But that means we live to fire another day. And fire we will today. Not only do I think it's under day, I think it's a dog day in some spots. In some spots out there. But grab your pen and paper. We got to get to work. We got all kinds of things to talk about here. We want to shout out the chat. I know you guys love this. What is it called? Rubbing butt? I don't even know. But look at, man, we got to recognize you guys in the chat with your plays. We'll start with Joe T. The your underplay of the day is them Diamondbacks and the Marlins over 7.5. Going right back to it. And why wouldn't you? 11 straight overs, I believe. The Marlins as a home dog. Interesting line movement. Now shading to the under. Cash coming in, but moving towards the under. Interesting. 6:40 p.m. start. Shout out to Joe T. And the your underplay of the day. Shout out to my guy Stacks. Justin McKelvey, my dude. Rocking out there. He's got Tyler Stevenson over 1.5 bases at plus 128. I talked a little RBI action for Ty Steve earlier today. Fuck Jose Berrios, man. I think it's a weird spot. It's a weird spot for Berrios today. We'll talk a little bit about that later. NJ Striker says, let's get a pimp. Congrats, Justin. Gerald Jones says, what up, Pimp? It ain't easy, crew. Best bet. He likes the Royals on the run line. Full game. Plus 110. He's going to lay the 1.5. There's Mexican Elvis. I think he invented the butt rubbing comments out there. He says, okay, Pimp, smack the man, myth, and legend. Tons of baseball on deck, followed by your epic UFC stream. Please don't spend 40 minutes saying hi and rubbing butts. Dude, listen, man, these are my guys, Mexican Elvis. I want you to be one of the guys. Let's get in the crew, man. Let's go. We got to recognize my peeps. Guys, best goddamn chat in the business. More important to hear their plays, their trends, and their action. More so than even mine. I don't even mean to say it like that. I don't even mean even mine. I just mean, look it. We want to talk about Vitalis being in here. Trisha M., Nicholas Handy, Kenny Wood, Joey Harbs in the house, Phil the Kill, Vitalis is Mike. Everyone analyst I know on the Brewers scaring me. What's your thoughts? Juggler 23. What are your numbers? That's what I'm talking about. Working together. I like Fetty. I do like Fetty. I think it's an over. That's one of the over spots, I think, on the card. Nothing official for me there, but we'll talk more about that one, 7:45 p.m. Winners, circles in the house. Giving you guys a little parlay action. KC, San Fran, Connecticut. Sun and the Liberty for WNBA action. There's my dude, Gonzo. Patrick McDonough's in the house. Says, lost touch with you, Pimp, since that 3-letter crew. I caught a few shows. Finally stop being an idiot and put notifications on. I don't know why I can't read lately. I think I gotta get glasses, man. I don't know. Sometimes it gets hard to read this shit. Good to see you though, Patrick, man. Appreciate you rocking. Definitely have your notifications on. We're getting after it. Every single day we got something popping, especially with sports money here, man. The Futon Bets got himself a little Mets over 9. We got Subhuman says cocktail time, sports money crew, fixing some espresso martinis. Have to get an extra shot of coffee before we throw the fire water back. Yeah. Oh, man. So I can't wait, dude. Tarek B says, what's up, Big Mike? It was a beautiful cashing day yesterday. Let's keep it going. Patrick says, easily my favorite capper, both for actual plays, but I appreciate the positivity and never say die attitude. Man, we live to fight the fight, Patrick. Love you, dude. Appreciate you coming back in. Ronnie Lofton says Diamondbacks moneyline minus 130 McCarthy over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Gonna be even money play for him out there. And Justin McKelvey says I parlayed all your parlays round robin. Let's go. Ronnie Lofton says hit that thumbs up. Of course, you guys, man. Bless our action. JP says you call it pregame, and I call it the drive home with Mike Money. Get yourself a little roadie to enjoy the pregame with. No, I'm just kidding. I don't advocate that. Don't advocate that. Vitalis says, damn, I get a thumbs up for that play. I need an extra play. Yeah, you got you, dude. Peter Crossie is in the house. Rob McMahon says, what up, Mikey Money? Twins best bet. Baca style. Hell yeah, man. Wine Time Sports, my dudes in the house. Looking forward to getting grinding with our guy at Wine Time Sports on some ML, some college football, NFL. Going to be fun working with Wine Time Sports. Derek Davis rocking. Gonzo says early data has me leaning towards Arizona. Wine Time says hit the like button. Shout out to Justin. Growing the fam, my dude. Coin says, what up, Mikey? In chat, let's have a Tuesday. A-Rod, Arizona under 16.5 outs. Arizona, under 16.5 outs. Rob McMahon likes the Twins. Justin McKelvey says, Wine Time, still no baby, but appreciate it. It'll be soon. All right, my dude. All right. We'll be waiting to hear. We'll be waiting to celebrate with you, dude. You know the deal. Peter Gracia says, but the like button, fellas, hit that shit. Let's go, man. Let's go. Con Clips says, who you got in Contender Series tonight? Rob McMahon. Going to be long night, Justin? Question mark. Justin McKelvey says, sports money. When I see you had Stevenson for RBI, I had him for stacks. I put a unit on Stevenson plus 500. First time ever putting a full unit on a prop. Man, oh, man. Let's get to work. Let's do just that. We're down to the grind and the wire here, guys. 29 minutes. 29 minutes. Where's the time go? Where's it go? That's the fastest I can still do the butt rubbing without dismissing the importance of my gang rocking and rolling. So I appreciate everybody going here. Let's do this. Let's get to work. Let's talk about this player prop parlay. 1423. We're going back to Jock Peterson to get 1+ hit. Guy's on fire right now. We look at this guy overall and his performance, his opportunities, crushing it across the board. Let me pull this thing up. For this Arizona game, by the way. This is Arizona. I should probably read the team off for you guys as we get to it. And look, he's just consistent. I mean, he's hitting the ball all over the yard. You know, he's got 2+ hits. What is it? 5 of his last 10 games on top of it. We got the wind blowing out at loanDepot to some degree, out center right field. But he's a 292 in the batting. Oh, there we go. Let's go on here. Against an Eddie Cabrera, this right-handed pitcher in Cabrera. Jacques a lefty. He's hitting 292 against righties. When we look at what he's done specifically against Eddie Cabrera, small sample, but a 500. He's comfortable seeing that guy throwing the ball across the mound. Then we're going to go to Mountcastle. We're going to take over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. The idea here, first of all, I think it is a potential bounce back spot. It is Jose Quintana. It is a lefty. But the key here, Ryan Mountcastle leads the team against lefties. A similar trend for me when it comes to a lot of these hitting props out there. We look at this guy. Mountcastle's a 304 against lefties. And, Quintana's about even. He's a 238 against righties, a 250 against lefties. But there's that righty factor in front of this guy, Austin Slater. So we got Mountcastle in the 2 spot. We just need 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Going to get at least 4 times through the order, if not through the first 5. I expect that game to have some runs in it as well. That is an over spot that I was looking at. Dean Kremer, Jose Quintana. Kind of got robbed yesterday with that AL East, NL East battle. That kind of, we did. Both games shit the bed for us. But I'm going to Royce Lewis. Royce Lewis, based on this Minnesota Twins team for 1+ RBI. Guy's killing it right now. I believe it was 309. Sorry, guys, let me pull this up. I'm trying to do this fast, but I don't want to dismiss the important factors that go behind it here. Padres and the Twins games have been bundled with runs. You know, we caught that Padres spot yesterday, right? We had the first 5 in the full game plus 125, I think it was. Then the Padres -1. And we talked about these teams, the hitting potential, right? Nobody's really hitting the ball better than the Padres across the board. The Twins finding a way to fire, make some runs happen out here. The thing for me when I looked at Royce Lewis and kind of why did I isolate him? Well, it's Martin Perez, who I believe is ripe to get plucked like a turkey on Thanksgiving. Then when I see that righty-lefty matchup again, best guy on the team, Royce Lewis, 308 in the 3 spot. Reasonable price tag on him, showing that the books are potentially concerned. And he's got Manuel Margot and Carlos Santana in front of the guy. The interesting part about that, though, is they're both hitting 276 and 296 against lefties. So we're kind of in that 300 club for the top of the order. Then Max Kepler is in the 8th spot at the bottom. So the second time through the rotation, we still have some action potentially in play. We don't necessarily see the second time through the order having the 8 and 9 guys in play for the 3 and 4 hole guys, but If this thing goes the way I expect it to, we're going to see a lot of ducks on the pond, if you will. Now we're going to look at Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler over 6.5 Ks, over 6.5 strikeouts for good old Zach Wheeler. And this just comes down to the Braves are fucking decimated with injuries right now, right? We saw now Austin Riley, another guy out of the lineup, won't be back for the rest of the season. And Atlanta's borderline packing it in. When we look at these numbers, yeah, the Braves are losing. They're 0-5 their last 5 home games against teams with an above 500 record. And Zach Wheeler in the road favorite role is 8-2 to the under. He's holding teams to less than 2 runs per game as well. So I expect that there should be plenty of Ks flying in that one. And then last but not least, we're going to go to Houston. We're going to look at Yanir Diaz. 1+ base. Just one. One hit, get him on base. Do what you got to do. That dude's been firing right now, right? First batter in Major League Baseball to get struck out because of the timeout rule. 7th inning. He's still fired after that. Kicks a home run out there. Gets one more at bat after the 7th. Imagine that. The 7th inning, he strikes out. He gets another go round before the end of the game. Houston bats have been firing. Yanir Diaz should do just that. 2 for 5 yesterday. Drove in 2 runs as well. I expect him to be able to make some contact on the ball. And that's going to be the 14-23 parlay. So let's see if we can get this thing home for us today, you guys. Need to get that cash. Need to get on this thing here. And I see some trends that we do want to talk about. Whoop. What just happened? There. I'm going to have to do a reset before. I see. My screen's a little slow here. I'm going to have to do a reset. I see great butt rub. I don't know here. Let's go. Stop. Start. There we go. Juggler 23 says, Jose Barrios, 9-24, down 22 units in night games as short favorites within a line between -120 and -145 in his last 5 seasons. Since we're talking about Jose Barrios, you guys know the deal. I expected him to lose the other day to Tyler Anderson and them Angels. And somehow Toronto fired early. Took him out of the game. Beat him up. What was it, 4-0 after the 2nd inning, I think, for that Jose Barrios fade spot? They were winning. The interesting spot, we look at Kevin Gausman. Now, we took the over yesterday because we know Gausman likes to go overs. But if you remember, the fade of Jose Barrios was 6-0. Then he catches the win. The play on Kevin Gausman up till yesterday was 6-0. And he caught the L. Where I'm going with this one is put your tinfoil hats on. I expect we're back in that bizarro world where things start to regulate and right the ship. I think it is a fade on Jose Barrios. I just wanted to get into some of these other plays before we jumped in, specifically Hammer in Toronto again. Sometimes you get some cash in a series. I don't want to go out there and keep trying to extract that money, but I agree with Juggler 23. Long story short, I think it's a beat the shit out of him type of day. And we will see. We will be live betting and watching that game tonight. Let's get into this action here. Let's go. Let's talk about this first game we've got on the card. This one's going to pop off at 6:40 p.m. Man, what the fuck? I'll tell you what, I did a hard system reset yesterday too. 30 full minutes of being offline, probably the first time all summer. And we're making a difference here. It ain't making a difference. We're sluggish at best. We got this Rockies and Nationals game popping off at 6:45 p.m. We got 89% of the bets and 92% of the cash on the Nets. Then we see a total with all the money coming in on the over, 96% of the bets and 96% of the cash. Yet we don't have any movement. DJ Herz going to be starting for the Nationals. 4.26 ERA on his season. Austin Gomber, 4.82 ERA. Bad. 3-8 on his season. And it's a little crazy spot here. You know, I was thinking about the over because we see a lot of cash on it. And at first glance, I thought, well, both these guys managing 4+ ERAs should go over. Then I found a little different way to play it, a little alternative spot that I wanted to jump in on here. I was a little surprised when it came down to it to see some of these numbers, to be honest with you. How about this? The Nationals. DJ Herz last 7 starts. They're 1-6 in those starts. They're not winning for DJ Hurst. Makes sense. He's got a 4+ ERA. They're just not able to find a way to get their bats to come through. And this is the classic example. Over that 7-game spot, opponents are scoring over 6 runs a game against him. A little foreshadowing for how I want to go attack this game here. I want to exploit this. I had like 4 different words I tried saying at the same time, and really none of them should have been said. And so I'm looking at this spot, though. I see plus 140 on DraftKings. This number showed 143 on Caesars. We know Caesars is the late book to recoup or readjust their numbers. And so now we see it is coming down, despite the fact that it opened high. It's that late line movement that we're looking to attack. I see this first 5 number as well. And I see even better now, this thing's gone down from plus 130 to plus 128, now plus 126 as well. So I think Colorado's a live dog on this card tonight. A little fade of DJ Hurst. Now, 46-79 for the Colorado Rockies. Look, is it entirely for the faint of heart? It's an interesting spot for this line because a 56-69 team against a team that's 10 games less effective should be priced almost maybe 185, 190. Interesting late minute line movement for me to lock down the Colorado Rockies. Again, double dipper. First 5, full game. I skipped one. I do want to take advantage of this game. I want to take advantage of this game a couple of different ways. So I'm going to have to figure out entirely how to do it. I don't have a graphic for it, but I'm looking at the Phillies and the Braves game. This is going to start at 7:20 p.m. Lots of cash coming in on the Phillies. It started at minus 126. It's moved to minus 150. So Phil's action coming in. 75% of the bets, 95% of the cash on the Philadelphia fighting Phils. It's got to be a good sign. I was talking to my guy, Razor Sharp Pick, earlier today about Red October. A little early look ahead to Phillies in the playoffs. An 8 that's moved to 8.5s, though, in some spots. Some. 89% of the bets and 86% of the cash on the over. Good old Zach Wheeler, 2.72 ERA, 12-5 on the season. And then we got Lopez with a 2.06 ERA, and he's 7-4 on the season. Because I don't have a graphic, I'll just kind of be short with it for you guys here, but under 4.5. First 5 total runs. Some of the spots that I looked at when I was prepping for this one, I just mentioned, the kind of the way I wanted to play the Wheeler spot, right? The over 6.5 Ks. When you look at these two teams, there's a lot of things to look at first and foremost here. Let's start with Wheeler. Last 3 starts, his ERA 1.35 over 20 innings. He's got 23 Ks in that stretch. Monster. The Braves, at home, striking out almost 26% of the time. Second highest in baseball, behind the nightcap that we're going to talk about, that Seattle Mariners, LA Dodgers play. The Mariners right now are a sub 180 ISO. They're terrible. They're not getting the job done. But on the flip side, when you look at one Lopez for the Atlanta Braves, how about this dude? Just 7 home runs allowed on the season, over 104.2 innings pitched, almost 105 innings, only 7 home runs. 4.5 seems like it's right in that sweet spot for us. Also, the under's 8-2 in Zach Wheeler's last 10 starts as the away favorite. I mentioned that earlier. The under 7-2-1 and Ronaldo Lopez starts at home. I don't know about the full game. This could be one of those games where you see like 2-0 in the first 5, and then the score ends up being 12-2. And if that's the case, we only want that first 5 under. But I'm not mad at anybody that wants to take, like a Philly minus 1.5 in an under spot. I could easily have my arm twisted into that. FanDuel's got an 8.5 at minus 124 on the full game total. But for me, it's the first 5, the under 4.5, sitting at minus 120. The first 5, I think these guys are K machines out there. They should be able to go keep this thing shut down, buttoned up. And it's a divisional matchup. And we know this time of year, these games are so precious for playoff seeding and positioning. We don't see them roll over and die. I think we see them fight. Just like we're going to see this Dana White Contender Series fight tonight, you guys. I see you guys rocking in the chat out there. Nasty Nate's in the house. You know it's fight night when Nasty Nate's rolling around. He's got his bag of wrenches, so make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Let's go. Sancho says Rays, Mariners, Braves, money line. Con Cliff says they took him off the book. Oh, did Lewis just get scratched? That would suck. That would suck. Brian Smith says Barrios pitched a gem. He can't do that too. That's what I'm saying, Brian. That's what I'm saying. That Angel spot was scrubbed and fucked. Bad. Shout out to Rebecca Evans in the house. Kelly V's in the house. Dodgers 9-2 versus Seattle from Kelly V. Brian Smith says Reds team total over 3.5, minus 115 for him. We got Dana Delp in the house. Bo Jackson, the resident Toronto whisperer, telling everybody he likes them Jays tonight. He's not afraid to fade them boys, too. Shout out again, belated happy birthday to our guy Bo Jackson. Was in that Toronto Cubs series, my dude. I hope you had a good time. I hope you had a great time. And a happy another year older. Mexican Elvis likes the Natty's money line, though. And Voodoo Ranger says hers to win. You guys really like it, even after those numbers I read about how poorly they're playing right now, huh? And I see Mexican Elvis says can't bot Gombers in any fashion. Okay. PC says, what are your thoughts on the Diamondbacks Marlins? I wanted to take Arizona in the over. As the time evolved, it started to look like the Marlins in the under. So I'm off that game. I just stayed off it. Brian Smith leans Wheeler over 6.5 Ks. Rob Hoffman says, I thought Wheeler minus 145 was a steal, so I took it. Dude, I took it at minus 120. I don't play a lot of these games. You guys know the deal. I'm a late is great better. But I played it literally first thing this morning when my boots touched the ground. The first thing I did was lock that in at minus 128. So we'll see if CLV is a real thing or not. We'll see if it is. Let's go. Let's keep her moving, you guys. We got time a-ticking. I want to recognize each and every one of you guys here, but you know the deal. Unfortunately, because we have the live stream, we got to shorten it up here. And I only say unfortunately because I love hanging out with the crew. I love hanging out with all you guys. I love having a cocktail, watching some fights, making some money. But today we got to do what we got to do to get through. Let's look at the Tigers and the Cubs game. Let me take this. I'm going to have to reset this son of a bitch. The Cubs open up as a minus 159 home favorite. Now minus 143. Reverse line movement alert for anybody keeping track at home. 84% of the bets, but only 70% of the cash on the Cubs. This is one of those classic spots where we talk about the line, and then we look at how are the books reacting. So when we look at the percentage of bets, generally the public spots, right? No disrespect to anybody that's in that bucket, but the $5 bettors, the parlay bettors, the round robin better, like it all rolls into the soup of where all the tickets are being produced. Then we look at the cash. And the cash is generally going to be indicative of bigger bettors, maybe sharper bettors, right? They're not looking at parlays. They're not trying to tie 2 or 3 legs together. They're not looking for the hip to be square type of plays. They're just looking to put a big bag of cash on it. And because we see that there's that 84% bets, only 70% cash shows a big better somewhere cracked this Detroit Tigers thing. They went from plus 134 to plus 126. We have a 7.5. It's got 96% of the bets and 96% of the cash on the over. Took it literally. They were updating this as I was getting ready. It's Alex Fato for Detroit at a 3.72 ERA. And then we've got Assad for the Cubs. Check this one out. This one, I like Detroit for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, they're both 61 and 64, right? This is the definition of dead even for these two teams. It just feels like they're going in two different directions, though, doesn't it? When you look at bullpen capability for the Tigers right now, they're more rested and they're a better number overall. Then we see the Cubs. They started the year off on fire at home, but they have cooled down to that bottom third of Major League Baseball when it comes to run production on their home field. Big red flags. Then I looked into it a little bit more, and I found this little gem that jumped off the page to me. How about this one? Teams off of a shutout. This is one you're going to want to write down. Had a day off, going back at home again. 0-10, straight up. 0-10 straight up in those spots. That is the Cubs. Then you look at Assad. Look at this pitching matchup. You got Assad versus Fado. When the line's below a minus 105 for Assad, so in this case, below meaning higher, right? He's 9-0. So if he's a dog or a minus 105, up to a minus 105, so just basically less than a coin flip. But when the line's from minus 164 to minus 105, what's he doing in that range where they think he's going to win? He's losing. He's 0-8. Son of a bitch is 0-8 in those spots here. Look, I told you earlier, I think it is a dog day. And I like me some Detroit Tigers in the spot out there. I think it's a great opportunity. Love that little Major League Baseball Y trend that intersects with the Fado fade trend. I mean, those are intersecting zeros at their finest. Then we look at the Cubs. Yeah, they are continuing that homestand with the day of rest in between. They got blanked by Toronto 1-0. I believe that was our dude's birthday, Bo Jackson. On the other side of things, the Tigers, 2 back-to-back homestands, small travel spot to get to Chicago. They got a day's rest in there as well. And they're busting teams up. Now, they busted up Seattle. We're going to talk about them in a few minutes. They busted up the Yankees. 3-2, 4-0. Granted, there was a shutout. Mind you, we talk about this all the time. Team gets shut out. What's the propensity to happen? The next game, win and shut the other team out. They get shut out by the Yankees 3-0. They roll back in as big plus 200 dogs. They win that game 4-0. Bookmakers don't know what to do with this Detroit Tigers team. This is a suspect line that screams fade the Cubs. I'm all over the Tigers in this one. This was a Detroit Tigers spot. How are we doing? We got 8 more minutes. Where's the time go? Where's the time go? There's too much butt rubbing. I mean, who doesn't like a nice butt rub, though? I mean, come on. You guys know the deal here. Let's go. Boston and Houston, another 8:10 p.m. start. Critical that we get these games out to you guys so that you have opportunity to get those plays in so that we can focus on smashing the book with the apex predators of the octagon. The Red Sox and the Astros, line reversal galore here. Minus 126 for the Astros, now minus 105. 79% of the bets, 91% of the cash on the Astros. We got a shit ton of cash on the over. 95% of the bets, 96% of the cash, and we got an 8.5. Slick Nick Pivetta with that 4.49 ERA. Ronaldo Blanco with a 2.89 ERA on his season out there. Probably, I don't want to say the big surprise. You know, we've been kind of tracking this deal, right? He kind of had a bad start, and we've been hammering away on this guy because he's bounced back every step of the way. He's found a way to continue to put dubs behind the board. And damn them Astros yesterday. I wanted to fire on the Red Sox today, but I found some compelling numbers here. So we saw yesterday's 5-4 game, right? It was an Astros win. Prior to that, the Astros played the White Sox at home. They won that series 2-1. They had Tampa Bay on the road, whose bats have been fluttering at best after yesterday's shit show. I mean, they easily cashed for the under. Shout out to Razor Sharp. Then we look at these Red Sox. 3 of their last 5 games have also gone under the mark. Back-to-back road trippers for these guys. I'll tip the hand a little bit for you guys. We'll keep this thing moving. Ronaldo Blanco starts. His last 9 at home have gone 8-1 to the under. The average we're seeing from a total perspective on the game is 8.2. So it checks the box with the 8.5. The average final we're seeing, 3.5 to 3.1. Then we talk about the Red Sox and what have their bats been doing as of late. Their last 14 days, 26th in Major League Baseball in WRC+. I got an even money line on the under 8.5 for this game. Everybody wants to take this over. Everyone's been talking about overs between the Red Sox and anybody they've been playing. We saw that little stretch at home, crushing the overs, playing Seattle, over. Red Rover. There's no fucking way this game goes over. We got an 8 that moved to an 8.5. We got minus, there's no more plus 100s out there. So we're moving in the under direction. Now, the best number we can get is minus 102, minus 104s, and minus 105s out there on the 8.5s. So really reasonable number. Again, I looked at the card today. I didn't want to let it influence my overall perspective. But man, you start looking at these trends, you start seeing these numbers, you start looking at this team in both Boston and Houston, and these pitchers do look like they should go out there and shove. Now, collectively, batter versus pitchers, there's only two guys really on the Boston Red Sox that have any success against Blanco. And there's only one guy, it's Jose Altuve, that's had any success at all. A 182, by the way, the only guy with any success out there against slick Nick Pivetta. I love the under in this game. Love this under, you guys. I see the comments in the chat. I hate the fact that I want to talk to you guys here. Let's see what you got going on. Ronnie Lofton, shout out to Bo Jackson. I see him there. Good, my guy. I'm glad everything worked out well for you. Safe travels back. Cameron Sinet says, Pimp Slap Army, LFG. Ronnie Lofton says, nice grab early, Mike, with the Phils. Kelly V, WNBA Seattle -6. Careful, New York Yankees clinch playoff spot. Lean, ugly dog. Oh, New York Liberty. My bad. Keith's in the house says, let's cash these plays and make this money. Hit the like for my guy giving free winners, man. Let's go. Brian Smith says, -150-ish for the Cubs is fucking insane. 100% agree. Ramon Scott says, love me some reverse line movement. What's up, Ramon? It's great to see you, my dude. Mexican Devil says, the Cubs suck. Oh, man. Come on. I'm not making fun of you, AOD. Did I say that? Did I say I was making fun of you? No. Oh, I see what you're saying. No. Look, the public wins too, man. The public wins too. You guys, we got 3 games left. We got 3 minutes to do it. Holy fuck. Where's the time go? We can borrow an extra minute or two. Look, not only do I drink vodka better than just about everybody, but I make a cocktail faster than just about everybody as well. So it's not that hard when you put ice in a glass, fill it with vodka, and splash it with a little piece of Red Bull. It doesn't take that long, and it's only about 35 steps away. So we got a minute here. We got 8:10 p.m. We got a game you guys are talking about. The LA Angels, the KC Royals. 93% of the bets, 90% of the cash on the Royals. Line moved from -190 to -198. Then we got a total. 90% of the bets and 88% of the cash on the over. These over numbers, are they even relevant anymore? I mean, everything's over, right? I know I talked to Joe T about that the other day. Everything's fucking over. All the money's on overs. Does it even matter? I don't know, but we got Cole Reagans going out there with a 3.18 ERA, and he's 10-7. Think about that. 3.18, and he's 10-7. I don't know if I say that. Does it skew? Does it skew you guys with where I'm going on this? Because then we look at Tyler Anderson with a 3.3 ERA. He's 9-11 on the season. Interesting. I told you about this situation, that Jose Barrios spot. Now, when you have a confluence of events that take place like that, the fucking moon, the stars, and the planets all exploded at the same time. We look for the bounce back regression spot for Barrios. We look for the Gausman fuck off spot yesterday. I think this is a Tyler Anderson gets right spot. Yeah. Oh, and I got some numbers to prove for it. How about that? Let's talk some numbers here. How about the Angels? Angels road starts when Tyler Anderson's on the bump. 6-0. 6-0. Now, shout out to our guy, Miggity Mac Daddy, because he tells us the Angels are our first 5 team, but you got to be careful of the full game. So you'll see the action that I have out there. The opponents are only scoring 2 points. This is crucial. The opponents are only scoring 2.5 runs a game in Tyler Anderson starts on the road. So I mentioned the 4 opportunity to bounce back. We got a road situation going on. The flip side with Cole Reagans, their first 5s are 7-0. They're only allowing 2 runs per first 5 in his starts. But the Royals have shown vulnerability. 7-3 in their first 5s the last 10 games. Now, you guys have seen me go out and time again, I've talked about the ROI and where the money's made with an LA Angels first 5. You take the even money spot, it's around plus 170. Yeah. But with such a small margin of error or run potential, 2.5 to 2.0, if this thing is 2-2 or 1-1 or both these guys shove it at 0-0, I want that plus 116 on the plus a half in my back pocket. If they end up, it's not like it's the plus a half at minus 120. That kind of fucks up your net ROI when you start looking at getting plus dog winners. But I also want the Angels to win the full game. Now, I'm not going with the 1.5 on the full game because I think the margin is inside of there for the first 5. The plus a half, if it's a push, then we're just looking for the Angels to come through with that dub to pick up the victory. Now, yesterday, 5-3. That was a back and forth game. It was weird because that first inning, man, I had to look twice because I thought the Royals blasted them boys, and yet they didn't. So that's going to be that game for us. 2 more to go. 2 more to go. 2 more to go. Then the show's going to the next level. The next level, which is cocktails, live streams, and Dana White Contender Series, Seattle and the Dodgers. Look, I'll give you guys the numbers. Give you the numbers. Let me get this going here. Where are we? Minus 142 is moved to minus 150 for the Dodgers. 92% of the bets. Now only 72% of the cash. But a little bit of a difference between the game we talked about earlier. The number's still moving in the Dodgers' direction. The 8.5 hasn't moved. 80% of the bets and 80% of the cash. You know, I should have given it out yesterday. The Dodgers. I couldn't have been any more clear. I liked the Dodgers yesterday. It was a weird price spot. But this is a Major League Baseball alert. Look, you want to talk about Bueller? Okay. You know, let me pull this back down for a second. 5.58 ERA. Eesh. Miller, 3.29 ERA. You can't win baseball games if you can't score. I just mentioned before the 2 shittiest teams in baseball their last 14 days. The Mariners are number 1 on the board. They got a sub 180 batting average, period. They're sub 2 combo lefties, righties. They're bad. You got Mookie. You got the squad. Freddie Freeman should be firing today. I think it's a good Freddie Freeman spot, by the way. I know a lot of people want Mookie and Ohtani, but don't sleep on good old Freddie boy. Now it's moved. It's minus 150. I was going to take it at minus 145, but we're getting past that little window of where I think there's benefit and value here. So, man, minus 162 now on DraftKings too. This thing is fucking flying. The minus 1's minus 115. I think the margin in this game is 3. I mean, minus 1.5 should be in play at plus 130, but minus 1 at minus 115 or minus 1.5 at plus 130 is dealer's choice. I'm going to give official the minus 1 at minus 115. I'm not going to give you guys a minus 162. I'm not an asshole. I mean, I am an asshole, but that's a special kind of asshole. And that's not me. So let's give you guys some reasonable lines that you can play. Minus 1, minus 115. They should win this thing. Why am I doing the minus 1.5? You might ask yourself. Because at minus 115 to have a push and play is worth it for me. You know, the thing is, you kind of rise to the occasion. You kind of rise to the challenge. Last team, last game on the slate. Let's look at the WNBA, you guys, and then I got to go so we can get this thing ready to pop off because it's going to be literally turn it off, turn it back on. So bear with us. We got 3 7 p.m. WNBA games. This was important that I got this one out for you guys, though, because we do not want to wait for the stream to start to get there. Interesting spots. Not going to talk about the Wings and Liberty. Not going to talk about the Sparks and the Sun. I'm going to talk about the Storm and the Mystics. I think there's a big trend for us out there. Oh, there we go. The Diamondbacks on the board. Big trend out there. How about this? We got, where are we? 89% of the bets on the Storm. They went from minus 7.5 to minus 6.5 out there. Only 60% of the cash. 89% of the bets, 60% of the cash. Yet the lines come down a little bit. Then we look at the total. 61.5. We have 67% of the bets on the under. We have 88% of the cash on the over. Huh? How about this? This is a situation where it's a potential bounce back spot. And it's not looking like the Mystics are going to play any form of defense. If you look at their recent games, blast job. They lost 99-83, 79-68, 96-87, 89-77. They're just not playing shit for defense. They're 9-0 to the over when they got a total less than 171. And they're facing a team that they lost the last meeting by about 8 or more points. So what it tells me, lower index total. They already got busted up by the team once, almost double digits. They don't go back and play defense. They just try to go out there and outscore the opponent to a 9-0 trend to the over. The best part about the over, They're going over by almost 20 points a game, 18.5 points a game on the over. I'm taking the over in that Mystics Storm game. And that's how we're going to close out pre-gaming, you guys. 45 minutes on the dot. I got to run. We got to get this thing moving out. We're going to do this show. Dana White Contender Series going to start. Let's give it 3 minutes, you guys. Real quick recap. The WNBA, I got the over 161.5. I took the Dodgers. We'll take a -1, -115. I got the Angels first 5 plus a half, +116. Full game, +170. I got the under 8.5 at even money in the Houston Red Sox game. I took the Tigers at +126. I got the Colorado Rockies action in play there. And I believe that was 140. And then, of course, we've got the player prop parlay. So go get a bathroom break, get your bets placed in, and circle back here in just a few minutes. We're going to get after it. I love you guys, man. I'll give everybody a shout out as soon as we get rolling with the Contender Series. I appreciate you guys being patient. You know the deal. It's time to make some real fucking money. Plus 17.5 units last Tuesday. Let's see what we can do this Tuesday, man. Appreciate you guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Tip your cocktail waitresses. Make sure that you Uber yourselves home. But we'll see you back in a little bit. Appreciate you guys. Peace.